Do 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 do. Josh's Order Corner. That's me. The Chiller Haul video that you've all been waiting for. Now, you may have watched the previous one. I hope you did, because there was a lot of great information in there. And I do feel like garbage. So if I cough, if I hack, if Cujo coughs, if he hacks, I'm sorry. There he goes. One and done. All right. So for the pieces that I got at Chiller, they're kind of all spread out around me right now. I'll do my best to keep this quick and organized. I did get Chuck and I both a Chiller Theater pin. So that's what it looks like. Chiller Theater. I like getting pins for the conventions I go to. It's just a nice way to remember them. Uncle Ed sent home a DVD of Abbott Costello Meet the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So we have that. He also sent me a lanyard that I'm going to, or that matches my phone stand, my pop socket that he sent me, and a dice pin. But it is on the other side of the room because I already put it in my bag. But right here, Uncle Ed, I will show you. I forgot to put this on my bag. I apologize. But here is the original pen that Ed sent me. Boom. Uncle Ed also gave me this shirt. There's a story in there that I'm not going to share because it's not my story to tell. But there is the shirt for the Cigar Club. I met some great people when I was hanging out with Uncle Ed. I'm terrible with names. I know there was Vinny. I know there was Josh. Some awesome people when I was with Ed. Another guest that was there was Rakeem J.H. Lawrence. He is a director. He signed these for me and sent them home with me. We have Second Chance 2, Sarah, the child of Satan, has been born. Hell will be raised. Second Chance, a Rakeem J.H. Lawrence film. Something evil has come to Gray Valley. This is Scared Stiff Films. You can find them on Instagram. And then this one here is a double feature of Sarah and the Farmhouse, some grindhouse style movies. Along with those posters, he sent me home with a Blu-ray of Second Chance. The small Christian town of Gray Valley is taken over by an evil cult. As the body count of the townspeople compiles, Sheriff Wilson must stop the evil cult before the devil is resurrected through the blood of a holy man and a virgin. The evil must be stopped before it is too late. And sinners, their sins is his revenge. Scared Stiff Films. A psychopath preacher kidnaps 3 people, a drug dealer thug, an alcoholic, and a crack user. These 3 victims' lives cause death and misery on the preacher's life. Now the preacher is bent on revenge. Who will survive his fury? Chuck and I got these. Chuck picked these out from Uncle Ed. I did not have a chance to go through Uncle Ed's table to find movies, which sucked, but I was very busy. Dead Set and Threads. So we're going to check these out, and they may be featured on an upcoming Movies and Mayhem. What else do we got? I'm going to go with the pieces that are not the guests that I was working with first. There was an awesome lady that I met at Detroit Motor City. She was there at this event as well, representing some of the cast from Slumber Party Massacre and Friday the 13th, Jason Lives. So Chuck had a couple pieces he brought, and while he was there, he grabbed me some as well. We have Michelle Michaels, I believe the name is, Trish from Slumber Party Massacre. You'll have to watch Chuck's reveal as well, because he got an amazing piece signed from that movie. We have Marcy, I believe. I'm terrible with names. Lisbeth Lives, which is Jason Part 6. We got Pappas from Jason Part 6. And then also from Slumber Party Massacre, Josh. It's Cold. From Kim, Deborah. Wow, I need to watch that movie again. It's been a very long time. The other piece that I got, I'm kind of bummed on this one. and I don't want to be bummed about it, but I am. Um, Across the way from us was a couple cast members from Fright Night, and I took an 11 by 14 that I already had signed by Chris Sarandon, with the hopes of adding Amanda Beers and Stephen Jeffries to it. Now, since we were working the convention, a lot of guests will sign things for people working the convention. I didn't bank on that, but it was an option. And thanks to Rob at SigsCom, he introduced us to their manager, and we managed to get a signature from Stephen Jeffries. The downside is I had picked out a quote the night before and the color and everything, and I expected it to be signed a little different. But instead, this is what we got. Um, I was expecting smaller, starting up in this area. Vampires don't exist, and then signature. As Steven was signing, I noticed he was signing very big. He got a nice smudge on the don't, and he didn't like the marker color because he was going to get lost in the clouds. So he asked if he could change it, and I said, yeah, sure. And he switched to red, which whatever. But then it got very close to Chris Sarandon's signature and quote down below, and it just kind of bums me out. Is it the end of the world? No, but I think based on like the experience and the attitudes that were involved, it was kind of just a negative experience. That the only negative experience of the weekend, so I can't complain too much. But it just would have been rad if we could have smaller, brought it up more and cleaner. But that's what we got. And Amanda Beers had left early Saturday, so I was not able to add her to this piece. Then, of course, Chris Sarandon there at the bottom. I believe I got this from a band box a long time ago. For the SigsCom guests, SD Nemeth is left-handed. Left-handed signers sometimes have issues with, not issues, but they sometimes end up smearing things because they're hand drags, right? Be nice to them. Be nice to them. I know not gonna be able to think of his name now. Tim Capella, I believe his name is. The sax man from Lost Boys. He's left-handed as well, and he has issues with that sometimes. Not issues, it happens, whatever. So, as this was being signed, there was some ink still on SD's hand from an earlier signature, and it got on this piece. And I know I can remove that. So Rob was like, just take that one, you're fine. So I got this one. I'd buy that for $1. Bixby Snyder, SD Nemeth. This is going to be one of my favorite pieces of my collection going forward because of knowing this man and knowing how rad he is. I'm trying to make this so quick. I think I'm doing all right. Pow. Alan Robinson, like I said, he had an amazing career. He did Stu stunts in Scream 1, Ghostface in Scream 2, Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump, Cry Macho, Clint Eastwood. He's done so much. One of my favorite Batman movies, surprisingly enough, is Batman Forever, where he did stunts for Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So we have this with the brain sucker, Alan Robinson, Riddler stunt double right there, as well as on this art series Target exclusive Funko Pop. On the side, we have Batman Forever, and then on the front, in that purple, Alan Robinson, Riddler stunts. Alan was awesome. I got one final piece from him because obviously I had to get something Scream. And a huge thanks to John at Jay-Z Convention Help. He hooked me up with these protectors for my Handmade by Robots figures. This one was fun because when I asked Alan if he would do it, he was like, I think so, but I don't know. I'll try. And then he did some dry runs for it, and then he did it. On the side, right there, is a TV falling on his head from Scream. So we got the TV falling on the head, and then on the front, Alan Robinson, Ghostface. Now, when he signs, he puts the ... over the O to give it a nice little screaming face. And then at the E, he turns it into a knife and often puts 1 and 2 over that as well. So Alan Robinson joining the Handmade by Robots collection right there. And I would say that's a sick 1 of 1 piece because I did not see anybody else getting him to draw. And I don't know if I would ever ask him to do it again because he was like, he seemed nervous about it. He was afraid he was going to mess it up. He was very particular with how he signs and doesn't want to screw things up. They all were. For Lynn, I brought this, and I wish I would have brought, you can't see it very well, but up here on my wall, right there, not there, but right below him, is a wooden plaque. It was from Lilo Multiprops, who was also vending at this event. Um, and it's signed by Nev Campbell. I really wish I would have brought that to add Lynn to because it would have been cool to have that mother daughter kind of piece. But I did bring this handmade by robots. This is a limited edition. By purchasing this Ghostface Pink Edition, you are helping the cause to defeat breast cancer. I believe the heart of each person is their true character. Without a heart, there could be no good, no faith, no trust, and no love. It is the center of our emotions and what is good in the world. The heart is the conduit of our emotions. If we listened to our hearts, the world would be a better place for all of us. On behalf of Fun World and Handmade by Robots, we hope you enjoy the special limited run of Ghostface Pink. Pow. So Lynn signed this. Lynn McCree, the reason for the screams, Maureen Prescott. And again, probably a nice one of one. I absolutely adore Lynn. If she took the time to read the side of that, and I say that because I know she was extremely busy, I think she would have really loved what they wrote on the side. So there's that. What's next? I got two pieces signed by this gentleman, and this is piece number one. On the awesome FYE Funko Pop with this amazing inscription. Now, Rob is the king for having this ready to go for Kevin. I had it written out so Kevin would know all the words to it and everything, because I don't know the backstory. They were trying to figure out the best inscriptions, and this was what Rob suggested. Every 23rd spring for 23 days, it gets to eat. Welcome to day 23. So there's that one. I need to get some more. I think I have a couple cases over there. I need to rearrange my Funko Pops. And also from Kevin, I got this. This is what I went into the convention needing to bring home with me. Heart of a Stuntman. It is Kevin's book. He wrote this. On the back, it says Kevin Ball found his way in the humanitarian world because he felt the need for change. His career as a professional stuntman spanned over 30 years, and it helped to prepare his mind and body for the hurdles of documenting the work of NGOs in developing nations. He talks about Cambodia, about Kosovo, about Guatemala, about India. Uh, a snowy runway in Kosovo, still pockmarked by war, accepted us onto its frozen tarmac. Littering the country, unexploded cluster bombs still threaten the citizens daily. The Halo Trust was in a desperate battle with the elements and with the international governing voices to clear this deadly refuge of war before another child's life was tragically cut short. With Cindy McCain on our side, we were on a mission to reveal these truths. Talking to Kevin, hearing his experiences a little bit, it was terrible because as we were talking, I kept getting pulled away, and I felt like I wasn't giving him the respect and attention he deserved. But I can't wait to read this book. It's to Josh. Thank you for all the support at Chiller 2023, and whoop, I cannot wait to read this book. Time to get a technical. Let's see if I can find new Muslim friend. Maybe you should shave. That sounds like it'll be. At the time of our trip, Kosovo had only been acknowledged as a sovereign country for about 10 days, and the U.S. Embassy was far from fully staffed. But Guy figured that we should make a stop just the same. It was the first sign of Americanism that we experienced. The gate, guarded by U.S. soldiers in recognizable camouflage fatigues, armed with standard issue AR 15 assault rifles, showed that we had a presence here. The guards allowed us to enter the embassy compound, and we were met by a rather excitable fellow who seemed to be enthralled by our arrival. Even John and I were met with exuberant handshakes, and since our greeter had no problem with the presence of our cameras, we filmed everything while he was leading us up to the more formal offices on the second floor. Just the way he writes, it feels like it's going to be a really smooth ride. I can't wait to read this. Moving on. This right here. If you saw the video that dropped Friday when I left, I was kind of wondering if I should take this, but I did. And I'm glad I did because this got to be the first one of these I Heart New York, Ghostface NECA's, Ghostface Takes Manhattan, that Matthew Cordair signed. He even wrote Ghostface, first sign. It makes me happy. It's cool to have that first one right there. I'm sorry, John. It was not the last of the ones he signed, but it was the first. And Rob was like, make sure he writes first on it. And I never would have thought to do that had Rob not told me. Finally, I saw this guy walk around a lot and he just had this aura about him, this tough guy, like takes no shit aura. And I saw he had a book and I wanted to grab it. So this is Street Justice by Chuck Zito. Inside of it, he wrote to Josh, best wishes, Chuck Zito, Oz, SOA. Now, when he wrote that, I told him, like, that's cool, but I'm buying this book because I can't wait to learn about you as a person. And he seemed a little like, oh, okay. Like, he seemed happy to hear that I wasn't buying it just because, oh my God, you're in Sons of Anarchy, which was rad. From the streets of Brooklyn to the set of Oz, from Hell's Angels to Celebrity Bodyguard, the revealing autobiography of an American man. Chuck Zito comes by its reputation honestly as one of the toughest, most uncompromising men ever to sit astride a Harley. Now, with tales both hilarious and chilling, violent and truthful, Zito tells his life story in his own words. From growing up on the mean streets of Brooklyn and the Bronx, where fighting was a way of life, to becoming president of the New York chapter of the Hells Angels, to the wild and crazy life of protecting some of the world's biggest celebrities. Zito might be seen as a latter day outlaw, the last of a dying breed of men, but throughout his tempestuous days, one thing defined him: his unfailing sense of justice, of what's really right and what's really wrong. That's how Zito found himself facing his biggest challenge, refusing to cooperate with a federal investigation into his brothers, the Hells Angels, and in the process losing the very thing he cherished most, his freedom. Zito's astonishing recovery from this experience and the unique kind of stardom he forged based on hard work and sheer will is a testament to his courage, his ambition, and his indomitable heart. A testament now recorded unflinchingly in Street Justice. With a foreword by Sean Penn. That's fucking sick in and of itself. So that's the haul. I did not get Danny Glover, which sucked, but I still had the best weekend ever, so I have no complaints. I breezed through it as quick as I could. I'm sorry it wasn't faster. Thank you for stopping by. I love most of you. Probably all of you. Maybe most of you. Till next time. Do 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 do